Guys, I lost today. I took the L. So, and it wasn't even close. It was a blowout today. DoorDash 100, Joe 68. So, on a Friday of I don't I honestly I can't remember. I mean, I know I haven't been doing this forever. I just been doing this since December, but I don't remember a blowout loss like this on a Friday. I really don't. This is Joe, the 50 something dasher. Thanks for clicking on this video. Today it's the recap for Friday, September 15, 2023. So I logged into this dash at 5:15 this morning. Woke up early, and I started out first. As you can see, I had to wait 45 minutes before I got an order. Early mornings like that, I just wait here at home until my first offer. So 6 o'clock, pardon my cheesesteak. I can't even say it. Pardon my cheesesteak. I keep wanting to say cake. But aka IHOP, and I'm going to do another. I didn't plan on doing a recap video today. I have two other videos, and I'm still going to record those. And one of them is about these alternate names for the restaurants. But that's IHOP, and like I said, I'll do another video about that today to be released at some point. So this is my first order. Going out east. Over 13 miles, but I just wanted to get started and get in the car and get moving. Okay, so while I'm out there, I kind of got lucky and got a order returning back to my zone. So hey, great. $9 and for that I'll make on my return trip. I was close to this McDonald's and worked out great. And in this kind of situation, I probably would have taken any amount of money if it was like heading back in this direction. Even like a $3 order. Well, I mean, at least I'm making $3 on the way back instead of zero. So, yeah, this worked out great. And then I had another pretty decent order. After that, this 1825 Meyer. And this was real easy. It was just 6 grocery. There was one multiple in there, so it's only 5 different items, and all in the grocery side. Really easy. $18. So I got off to a really good start. I was at $40 by I don't know 7:45 in the morning. Before my dash, I wasn't scheduled until 8. So before my scheduled start time, I had $40 on only 3 orders. So I was off to a great start. And then it didn't finish too well. I know that much. Next order, I took this. Now, we were kind of closing in here at 9 o'clock when I start to kind of slow down. So I figured I'd take this, knock this out. I figured it wouldn't take long, pick up $3. Remember, folks, this is the law of averages. So, I'll have the $25 to $45 orders, then I'll have like the $3 orders, $4. It's all like, but it all kind of seems to, at least for me anyway, in my market, everything averages out. I consistently average 25 an hour. I've talked about this for the active time, and it's right around $16.50, $17 an hour total dash time. And my numbers for since like probably February, March have been consistent. So I took this, and it wasn't bad except for the fact that I had to wait in the Tim Hortons, and they, yeah, again, and this location can be as bad as the other location. Actually, all three of them are can be pretty bad as far as prioritizing that drive-through traffic. Drive-through is number one. Everything else is a distant second. So um, I had to wait like 8 minutes in there. The delivery wasn't bad at all, but the time inside the restaurant killed me. um, then I had a decline. On this right here, I had already gone out east twice, two kind of like longer trips, if you will. I just didn't want to go to this delivery location, South High Street area. I just, at that particular time, I wanted a break from the longer distance orders. So I declined that. Then I got a stacked Panera. So there's the first one. Um, that came in at 8.48. I'm gonna guess the other one came in at 8.50, 8.49. So a minute later, which was kind of nice because there it gives it to you separate, so that it's got to be at least $2 minimum for each of the base pays since they didn't come in at the same time. And here I walked in, both of these orders was ready. Walked right in, they were ready. Come back out to my car, and then I sit down in my car trying to close out the orders, and the stupid cell phone's signal service issue that I have. So I had to get out of my car. I have to, I stand right next to the glass, like in front of the store, get my phone as close as possible to Panera without going inside the store. And I sit there and connect to my Wi-Fi and agree to this and agree to that and connect. And man, it's just such a process. And I finally connect to their Wi-Fi and able to accept the order or the orders. So what happens is I dropped off the first order, then before I could get started on the second delivery, they gave me this McDonald's sandwiched in between the orders. And I don't know. Well, this says 3 stops on the drop off, but I already dropped off the first one, so there was 2 left. And I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have taken this one, but I did. And so I go. I wasn't that far from the McDonald's, so I go back over to it. The order was ready. I pick it up, drop off. The only problem is that is another area where I have a bad signal. So the only kind of thing that sucked about this is I had to drive about a quarter mile, half mile down the street to get my signal back, get the GPS back up, to close out the order and head to that second Panera customer. So that's, other than that McDonald's order didn't mess me over too bad. Let's close these out. And next, okay, so here's when the blank started to hit the fan. Right here. Okay, so I get this Chipotle order. I don't. Now I'm losing track of when I've done these videos. Did I do one 2 days ago? I don't know. I think I did. What was it? 2 days ago, the Chipotle only, and I had a catering order came out of there too, and I went there like 3 different times. And the first time I went there 2 days ago, they only had 2 employees. Okay, I had all kinds of problems 2 days ago. Yesterday, there was an army inside that location. I walked in there, there's like 25 people Chipotle workers back there. They couldn't hardly fit all the workers in there. And today they're short staff again. It's fucking roller coaster on the staffing there. But maybe that's got to be a lot of places though. But anyway, so today was a bad staffing day. So I go in there and I go past my 10 minutes to where I'm now going to try to drop it without penalty. Now, I know a lot of you may be watching this. There's a lot of dashers up until this point. For whatever reason, it's not common knowledge to dashers that you are only required to. Well, I'm going to update this here in just a second. But up until here recently, you're only required to wait for an order at these restaurants for 10 minutes. And then after that, you can drop without penalty. And up until a few weeks ago, it was really simple. I always do this. I get to the restaurant, I click arrived at the restaurant, then immediately go into my clock app on my phone and start the stopwatch. So it's the stopwatch is running, and while I'm waiting, I watch that for my 10 minutes to be up. And up until a few weeks ago, it used to be really easy on 10-minute drops. And this was no cheat. This is no like hidden secret or no, I mean it's perfectly legal or whatever terms you want to use. It was perfectly within your right to do. You go into the DoorDash support chat and it was all automated. The things that you click on and the robot, you didn't even chat with a real agent. It was all the robot. And there was steps that you took and you unassign an order after 10 minutes with no penalty to your completion. Okay, things started to change a few weeks ago. It started to get a little harder to drop it through the chat. I think it was about like 3 weeks ago. I had to type in, they took away one of the options that you would click on once you opened a chat. They took that little button away. And so I would type in extra pay for wait time, and I would basically do the same thing and the steps would be a little bit different. Then about 2 weeks ago or so, it changed again to where the only way that I could now drop an order without penalty was with a live agent in the chat. And I think this is the way it's going to be going forward. And until there's another change. After all this started happening a few weeks, it used to be before a few weeks ago. I set my timer and 10 and a half minutes and boom, go through the steps, drop it, and I was gone after 10 minutes, 30 seconds. And it worked like clockwork every single time. Then started having issues. Now I started waiting 11 minutes. So on this particular order, I waited my 11 minutes and I tried something different on this order just to see what would happen here. I clicked on the question mark, top right corner to start and started a chat and clicked on the different, options to unassign me from this order. And got to the message where it said the last message you see, okay, if you unassign from this, your ratings may be impacted. Which in the past, if I saw that message, I would not unassign. You would wait till you see a message. We see that you've been waiting 10 minutes. You can go ahead and drop it and your ratings won't be affected. Okay, so but I thought, well, things have changed here, so maybe I'll no longer see that message, and I can, because it's been over 11 minutes, so I should be able to drop it. I shouldn't get dinged for this. So I dropped it, and I immediately go into my home screen and go into my ratings, and sure enough, 97% completion. It went down. I was at 98, and dropping that order knocked it down. Okay, so pause my dash, get in the car. I'm immediately on the phone with DoorDash support. Now, just as a side note here, I know a lot of Dashers don't like to call support. I've heard that there's really long wait times when you try to call. Since I'm on the Top Dasher program, and they say that if you're a Top Dasher, there's like an escalated level of support. I pretty much always connect right away to somebody. So I dial the number and then I get the automated message. It puts me on hold for probably like not even 30 seconds most of the time, and somebody comes on. So they really do mean dedicated support. When they say that, they mean it. I mean, so I get somebody on the phone. Long story short, on this phone call, I was on this call 3 or 4 minutes, whatever it was. Long story short, number one, on her end, she was showing that I dropped the order at 10 minutes 58 seconds, which is why I got the hit on my completion. So it appears, according to this phone call, that now it's 11 minutes you have to wait, because if it's, you're supposed to wait 10 minutes at the store, at least 10 minutes. Well, they mean 10 minutes over, you have to wait over 10 minutes 59 seconds from what I'm understanding after today. So it's basically 11 minutes now, which kind of sucks. And I also got the sense, of course, these we all know these people. They're taking these calls from India. They have the real heavy accents, and it's, I'm kind of hard of hearing. I was born with hearing loss, actually. Not trying to joke around or anything. I do have real and true hearing loss. I have problems with certain when people talk, if it's certain accents or certain tones of their voice, I struggle. I'm struggling to understand this person, but if I understood correctly, it sounded to me like these drops have to be done by an agent now. So, which would come into play here, and I'll get to that. And was that okay? That wasn't immediately after. So okay, so I ended this phone call, resumed my dash, and wouldn't you know that the next order was Chipotle. I was still parked there. I got a Chipotle order. Absolutely not. You know, I already know it's a mess in there. So no, I'm not taking this. And I selected the reason this time. I've only used this one other time before, when you decline an order and you select the reason, I don't want to go to this store. I did it. This has been a few months ago. I did it for Cracker Barrel, and I didn't get any more orders that day. But then going forward, days later, I'd start getting orders for them. So I thought that would exclude me from Chipotle orders for the rest of the day. But guess what? Let's close these out. Next offer. Guess what? And then like immediately after that, guess what? 11:09. Huh. 4 straight Chipotle to an understaffed location. And I took both of these. I said, I'm getting fed up at this point. I go in there and I'm like, I just sit there my 11 minutes, and I guess I'll drop these too. So I go in there, At this point, there's like 5 or 6 delivery drivers in there. Some of them are standing up by the counter, some of them are sitting down. They're all over this location, plus the long line of foot traffic. I just sit down at one of the tables. At this point, I don't even bother to go up to the counter. I'm so frustrated at this point. And I know that, well, probably all of the Chipotle's, they stick to the order that they get these orders in. They, it doesn't matter if I go up there or not. I know at these Chipotle's, because whatever or however they receive the orders, that's the order that they're going to make them in. So I have no control over what order they're going to make next. So I'm just going to watch. I can see everything from where I'm sitting. I'm just going to watch for an order that nobody's standing up there for, that they put on the to go rack, and then I'll get off my butt and check to see whose order that is. I go past my 11 minutes. Okay, so now I get on the chat again, and this time I think I typed in extra pay for wait time, and if you hit the submit button, it doesn't even bother with robot responses. It just automatically starts connecting you to an agent. And I get an agent on the phone. And by the time he connects and says anything, now we're at 12 minutes. And I type in, I use my voice commands. I said, can I get my current orders for so and so and so and so dropped? I've been here now 12 minutes. And the agent responds back, yeah, let me, check into these orders, yada yada. I'm kind of put on hold. Now we go past 13 minutes and I send a message. It just says 13 minutes, and I send that. And then another minute and a half goes by, and he comes back and says, okay, I would go ahead and drop him now. So basically now you're kind of talking. It went from about a month ago, it was just 10 and a half minutes straight up. And now it's with the having to mess around with in the chat with a customer service agent. Now you're talking more like 15 minutes. And that's a big difference. I guess on the positive side of things here, you can, at least you can still drop orders without penalty. Okay, it now takes about 4 minutes longer to do, which sucks, but you can still drop them. So it's not the end of the world, but and what's kind of funny to me is, if hardly any dashers seem to know about 10-minute drops, why did you change that in the chat system? Why couldn't you have just left it alone the way it was? Because apparently not too many dashers knew about it anyway, that you could do that. So why change that to where you have to be in contact with a live agent now? I don't know. I don't really understand that, but so this is now 4 straight orders that I didn't do. Next and this is as, like, at the same time he's removing the 2 orders off me, my phone dinging, and I get this. And I'm like, okay, thank you very much. I'll take this order. It's a little bit long mileage, but you know what? It's only one item. Let's do it. And this will take up, at least probably. This was gonna take up over a half hour of my time, probably 45 minutes of my time, shopping that, driving out to Lockbourne, coming back. I mean, this was gonna take some time, but hey, after all this crap with Chipotle, then I was all over this. I get inside the store. It was a stud finder. So I go in there, and I click start shopping, and I see like the aisle number. I go right to that aisle and look around a little bit. I don't see anything at first, and finally I see the location where I was lucky enough to find the location where it was supposed to be, and the shelf tag with no product. So I hit item unavailable, and there was no substitutions, and then I sent the customer a picture of the shelf tag and empty hook, and and then the DoorDash generic message, would you like a substitution? He responded back just a simple no. Okay, so I just marked all items unavailable and basically canceled that order. And then I got after this, I checked my other pay, and there was 1039, which I don't know how they come up with the half pay on these orders, because what am I getting 1039 for? If it was for both of those Chipotle order and this Meyer, well, the Chipotle were $4 each. So half pay on that would have been four, and half pay on the Meyer seven. That's $11. I don't know. I wouldn't have got 1039. I don't think, just off the Meyer alone, because that's $10 is obviously more than half of 14. I don't know how they come up with 1039, and when you click on it, it doesn't give any more information or break it down or anything. So I don't know. But anyway, in that whole amount of time tied up and waiting at Chipotle, dropping orders, and then the failed attempt inside Meyer, and for that whole entire, however long all of that was, 40 minutes, whatever it was, the net result of that, I got $10.39. So I got something for all of the troubles. Um, where's the other restaurants here? So another Chipotle. Okay, McDonald's is my number one pickup spot. Where was McDonald's today in all of this? Okay, my that return trip order, and that's it. Okay, why can I not get a McDonald's order here? Give me something other than freaking Chick-fil-A. Okay, where was Taco Bell? Where was Smoothie King? KFC. I think we'll get to KFC here in a couple orders. Can you not tell? Can the system not tell that I can't do a Chipotle order right now? So this was a drop or decline, whatever. And then, believe it or not, I dropped a catering order. Coop and Run. What is this? What is this? After all this frustration that I'm going to this point, like I'm really gonna just, oh, okay, oh yeah, $25 going into downtown Columbus. Sure, I'm on top of that. Are you kidding me? I might have even dropped that at that particular moment. I might have even dropped that if that said like 35 or $40, honestly. I'm not going into downtown. I'm sorry when I'm all like flustered over this Chipotle issues and dropping orders. This Coop and Run, I tried to research what that was. I don't know. It could have been Red Robin. It could have been O'Charlie's. It could have been Dairy Queen for all I know. I mean, I don't know what that was. And I tried to look it up. I tried to research it. I tried to look at it, get on the DoorDash app and look at it as a customer, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And these stupid alternate names for the restaurants. And like I said, that's what one of my other videos is for. I'm going to shoot here today. But I deleted that or declined that. I rarely ever do I decline a catering order, but that was a straight, you see there, straight 24.65, no hidden tip. Um, I'm sorry, no thanks. If I just had to guess, I'd guess that was Red Robin. Somebody watching this, you probably already know what it is. Just drop a comment. Let me know what Coop and Run is. I also did I put up my Apple map and I typed in Coop and Run and it pulled up some location in Tennessee for some other Coop and Run. But yeah, somebody comment and let me know what that is. I'm curious now. Okay, next was KFC. Um, and I was on my phone with my wife when this came across, and I was like, decline. And she was like, you need to just log off and go home. And I agreed with her. I declined this, log off, take my loss and until another day. And I said before, I said to my wife, I'll say it again. Uh, and that's the thing why it's not as easy and I talked about this in my video where I talked about should you become a delivery driver. uh at times you gotta have, well, you don't have to have, but it's nice to have nerves of steel. And I tell you what, on days like today, I feel like me personally, I kind of feel like I have nerves of aluminum, not steel. And my wife disagreed with me. She said it's not even aluminum; it's weaker than that for you. But you know, she can take shots at me. But I'm going to say nerves of aluminum. I can, and because I have better days than others where stuff like this, I can handle it for whatever reason. Some days I can handle it better, some days I can't. You know, a tricky shopping order. On some days I can go into a store, man, I don't care what problems, I don't care what's out of stock or how long this takes me. I really don't care. I'm just going to go in there and do the best I can, shop this to the best of my ability. And then other days, that if I get that same exact order, I go into the store and after two items that I can't find, I'm like, boom, drop. There's two items in a row I can't find. I'm not even bothering with the rest of this. Let some other dasher deal with it. Um, so yeah, I'm probably in this video. I'm probably I'm being harder on myself than I really my acceptance rate typically right there for a few months it was riding at 100%. I mean, because I did the 10-minute drops, I'd finish my shopping orders, then you know, here in recent months, I've had some shopping orders that I just flat out given up on. So that two of them here within the last month. So that's what took me down to 98. And then this Chipotle fiasco, this trial of dropping one through that took now 97. But I think I just got like 17 or 18 orders before the one drops off. So here next week, I'll be back up to 98. And I logged off at 11:53. I didn't realize until compiling the notes for this video, I didn't realize that I had just about 4 hours of downtime today. You know, I had 45 minutes right at the start, I already mentioned, but I was logged in for over 6.5 hours and was only active on on an order for 2 hours 41 minutes. So that was yeah, that's pretty crazy. Um, only completed 7 deliveries today, $68, 86 miles. I did bad on mileage. Now for the week though, I was for the first time in a few weeks because we had. I think a few weeks ago we went to West Virginia to see my daughter. A couple, weeks ago we went to um, we went up north to my wife's hometown area. We went to the county fair there. We here recently went to the Amish country. I shot those customer rating videos out there. So this here was the first my first full Tuesday through Friday dash week in a few weeks. And and of course I talked about this. $100 a day is my goal, and I made $395 for this week. So even with the loss today, I was still on goal for the week. Just barely under a $400 work week. So from that standpoint, I had a good week. And I got here. This was my highest week since I had a $600 plus week in August. So this week here was my highest since August. One thing I forgot to mention, I left something out. I just remembered that third order that I talked about that put me over $40. On the way to that delivery, so I'm on the highway, the interstate. I'm coming up. I'm about like a mile and a half from my exit and hit stop and go traffic to get off that exit. And I was in that line for, it seemed like at least like 15 minutes. Very slow line to get off that exit. And I'm just thinking it's 8 o'clock in the morning. This is the warehouse traffic, warehouse workers in that area. That's what I'm thinking. I get off the exit and the far left lane is closed. And I see all kinds of cops. I see news cameras, people setting up cameras on tripods, I'm like, what the heck? And so I pull up closer and this like SUV type vehicle rammed into the back of the school bus, and the whole hood of the car was like underneath the school bus, and all the hood of the car. I'm sorry, peeled off of there like a sardine can, and the back of the school bus, the back door was practically touching the windshield of this other vehicle. So I basically dropped that order off, and I didn't want to come back the same way. So I had to put my dash on a pause, and I GPS, home, and then but I had to click on one of the alternate routes to take, to avoid that intersection, to get closer back to my zone and resume the dash. That pause feature really comes in handy for situations like that. Also situations where, like, normally in certain other zones, I don't mind while I'm out there picking up another order, but if it's like one of my peak times, I don't want to. I want to get back to my, like, if we're talking 11 a.m., I don't want to be picking up orders in other zones. I get back to my zone as quickly as possible. So I'll pause the dash in those situations. I'll get closer back to my home zone and then unpause it. So I use that pause. Like I said, that pause comes in handy a lot. But anyway, that is all I have for this day that I'm glad is behind me now. So hopefully I have a better week next week and better stories to tell than today. But hey, it was a learning day. So valuable lessons learned today. That's for sure. Okay. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, check out my other videos, and until next time.